Thank you, Ryan, for flying from New York to Vienna, and thank you for joining me today and participating in this conversation.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you for having me. It's been great that DLT Austria, has hosted this event and then invited, us here. So, yeah, overall, really excited to be speaking. And again, thank you for, arranging such, a varied set of panelists.
It's a pleasure. So let's begin with your background. How did you get started in cryptocurrency industry, and why Aptos Labs?
Yeah, definitely. So, originally I had a very TradFi background. So I worked in commercial real estate, basically a number of different institutional acquisitions, asset management, and debt origination roles. And then about 5.5 years ago, I joined a company called T0. So they were a broker-dealer focused on capital raising, tokenization, and secondary trading. They were backed by a publicly traded company. And then also one of the other backers was Intercontinental Exchange, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. So the thesis there was to basically create the broker-dealer infrastructure that's needed to take these private products and then bring them on-chain. So what really brought me to T0 was that practical implication that you could take traditional financial products that generally were very high barrier to entry in a liquid, create an on-chain component, and then provide that secondary liquidity accessibility, truly democratizing access. And then about 4 months ago, I joined Aptos. So kind of given some, regulatory changes in the US, it looked like that adoption of blockchain technology would hopefully occur quicker and quicker. And then I looked at the sort of tech that Aptos had. I would say the very strong focus within financial markets. Our CEO, Avery Ching, noted that the intent is to become the global trading engine, and then outline some very clear goals, and then would love to be, a part of that initiative, right? So I joined as the head of structured finance a couple months ago.
All right, and stablecoins is a big topic at the moment, right? Is there something that you could share with us, something interesting?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going back to, our CEO's sort of 3 pillars. The first is money movement. So we're, very involved within stablecoin transmissions, right? So we, have USDT, USDC, USDY, and USDE all natively issued on Aptos. We're speaking with a number of other issuers to bring their products, to our, chain. So we're very bullish about utilization, not only in emerging markets, but, global utilization of a variety of different stablecoins. So I think it's, a product, right, that's very easy to digest from a retail investor standpoint. You have a clear, utilization in a variety of different markets. And then from a regulatory standpoint, at least within the US, you have this, outline of potential, regulation through the Clarity Act, Genius Act, and then a variety of different kind of forward-thinking goals through the White House, digital asset report that make stablecoins, sort of a good first candidate, right, for, blockchain adoption and then, regulation.
Interesting. And then also maybe real world assets, right? I know for a fact that there is this interesting concept such as a net asset value on chain. Could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's, kind of our second pillar, right, at Aptos is bringing more NAV on chain. So we're working with a lot of larger financial institutions, including Franklin Templeton with their Benji product, BlackRock with their Biddle product, to take these, essentially money market funds with an on-chain component and have them issued on Aptos. So this is something that we're also doing within the private credit space with Apollo. We have a great partnership with Pax, and they're doing a number of basically microfinancing throughout the African continent. And really, the goal is, to drive TVL and then also work with a number of high quality sponsors that are looking to build scalable businesses on chain.
All right. And then data, right? Everything is data nowadays. What about data transformation?
Yeah, definitely. And again, kind of third pillar, for, what our CEO has identified. And then we're working with a number of high quality joint venture partners, including Jump Crypto, to revolutionize the way that data is handled. So with Jump Crypto, we're doing a project called Shelby, where we're looking to create a decentralized file storage solution that leverages the inherent product strengths of, the Aptos blockchain, including, some of the highest, if not the highest transactions per second, low latency, extremely low cost to, build something that, maybe akin to like an Amazon Web Services or a Google Cloud, albeit done in a more decentralized manner.
And what about the products that you are planning for the future, maybe, or you have already started developing, right? And maybe some institutional outlook.
Yeah, definitely. So, on an institutional standpoint, we already have a number of ETP products within Europe.
Exchange-traded products.
Exactly, exchange-traded products within Europe. We have an ETF application out with Bitwise, within the US. And then we're, kind of keenly looking into different public company treasury efforts, which, have been a really hot topic now within the US. And then, we're looking into different, tokenized public equity initiatives, right? And then kind of looking back at, my own background within sort of the private security space, that's something that we would love to be involved in. A really keen focus, right, on sort of RWAs and institutional adoption.
Interesting. You mentioned treasuries.
Yeah.
Maybe just something about it, right? What's something interesting that...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, kind of the goal of these public company treasury efforts, right, is to, get the underlying product, right, out to a broader audience, right? There's some investors that can only, invest in public companies and not necessarily exchange-traded funds, right, or even exchange-traded products. And instead, they would have to go through sort of a public company, kind of hence like the success of some of these other public company treasury efforts. So it's, really interesting to see this, melding of TradFi and DeFi, right, where you're playing off of both worlds and kind of coming to this, hybrid universe in the future. And then even, announcements like, NASDAQ's potential, interest in tokenizing public equity is sort of a, great way that we're seeing, more and more utilization within traditional markets.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much for this exclusive insights into what Aptos is doing. Also shedding light on your background. It was very interesting to listen to your perspective. Thank you for joining me.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.